Welcome back to our deep dive into the SDI.
I'm excited to be back.
Yeah, in part one, we explored the fascinating world of motives. You know, those why drivers behind our actions and how they can kind of shift gears in conflict. And we uncovered the power of understanding our strengths and even those overdone strengths that can sometimes, trip us up.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was like taking a magnifying glass to our personalities and seeing all the intricate workings.
Absolutely.
It was pretty cool.
Fascinating stuff.
Okay, so now we're going to roll up our sleeves and get practical.
Let's do it.
All right, how can we actually use all of this SDI knowledge in our everyday work lives?
So let's start with one of the most common challenges in any workplace. Teamwork.
Ooh, teamwork.
Right.
It's amazing how much smoother things go when a team is truly in sync.
It is, yeah.
But so often, teams struggle.
Right.
Because people are coming from different perspectives, different motivations.
That's true.
The SDI can be a real game changer here.
For sure.
Imagine a team where everyone understands not only their own strengths and motives, but also those of their colleagues.
It'd be amazing.
Right. It would be like having a secret decoder ring for understanding each other.
Exactly, yeah.
So, for example, let's say you have a team member with a strong blue motive.
Okay.
Someone who's all about building relationships and creating that harmonious environment. They might clash with a colleague who has a strong red motive, someone focused on achieving goals and pushing for results.
I've seen that so many times.
Oh, I've definitely seen those clashes before.
Yeah.
Like the blue person might see the red person as too pushy or aggressive, while the red person might see the blue person as too slow or indecisive.
Exactly. But with the SDI, both individuals can start to see these differences, not as personality flaws, but as simply different ways of approaching the world.
So it's not about labeling people as right or wrong.
Right.
It's about understanding,
and appreciating their unique perspective.
Totally.
I like that.
And once you have that understanding, you can tailor your communication to resonate. If each person's motives.
Okay.
So for example, if you need to get buy-in from a blue motivated colleague, you might focus on how the project will benefit the team. Strengthen relationships.
Okay, that makes sense. You'd be appealing to their core values.
Exactly.
Right.
While with a red motivated colleague, you might focus on the challenge, the opportunity to achieve something big, and how their contributions will drive those results.
Wow, this is really making me think about how I communicate with different members of my team.
Yeah.
It's like speaking different languages.
It is. And the SDI acts as a translator.
Oh, I like that.
Helping you bridge those communication gaps.
This is so valuable. Okay, so the SDI can help us understand and navigate team dynamics. What about leadership? Oh, good question.
How can it make leaders more effective?
Effective leadership is all about connecting with people, inspiring them, and guiding them towards a common goal. And the SDI can give leaders that extra edge by providing insights into how to do that in a way that resonates with each individual.
So it's not just about standing at the front of the room and barking orders.
Not at all.
Right.
Leaders who understand the SDI can tailor their approach to each team member.
Okay.
So, for example, a leader working with a green, motivated team member might focus on providing clear instructions, logical explanations, and the space for independent work.
That makes sense. You wouldn't want to micromanage a green person.
You wouldn't, right.
Right.
While a leader working with a blue, motivated team member might focus on creating a supportive environment, recognizing their contributions, and emphasizing the team's collaborative spirit.
So it's about meeting people where they are, motivationally speaking.
Exactly. It's about speaking their language and understanding what truly motivates them.
I like that.
And this understanding can also help leaders navigate one of the trickiest aspects of leadership.
Ooh, which is...
conflict.
Oh, yes, conflict.
Right.
It's pretty much inevitable in any workplace, isn't it?
For sure.
So how does the SDI help leaders handle those, difficult situations?
So remember those conflict sequences we talked about in part one?
Yes.
By understanding their own conflict sequence and those of their team members, leaders can anticipate potential clashes and step in before things escalate.
It's like having a conflict radar.
Totally, exactly.
That's awesome.
And even when conflict does arise, the SDI can help leaders facilitate a more productive conversation. Instead of getting caught up in the emotional back and forth, they can focus on understanding the underlying motives driving each person's behavior.
So it's less about placing blame and more about finding a solution that works for everyone.
Right. The SDI helps leaders shift from a me versus you mindset to a we mindset.
I like that.
And that can be a real game changer for building a more cohesive and productive team.
This is making me realize how much potential the SDI has for improving teamwork and leadership. But what about conflict resolution in general? We all encounter conflicts, in our personal lives,
of course,
in our professional lives. How can the SDI help us navigate those choppy waters more effectively?
So remember those three primary motives. Blue, red, green. Each approaches conflict differently. Blue seeks harmony, red wants to prevail, and green wants to analyze and conserve resources.
And when people with different motives clash, things can get messy fast. But the SDI acts as a translator, helping you decipher the motivations behind each person's actions.
It does.
Instead of taking things personally, you can start to see the conflict from their point of view.
Exactly.
So it's about understanding where they're coming from, even if you don't agree with their approach.
Exactly. So for example, let's say you're in a conflict with someone who has a strong red motive. They might come across as aggressive or demanding. But if you understand that their primary driver is achieving results, you can reframe the conversation in a way that appeals to that motive. You could focus on finding a solution that meets both your needs and helps achieve the desired outcome.
That's a great strategy. So it's about finding that common ground, that shared goal that can kind of bring people together.
It is.
And the SDI can also help you identify your own tendencies in conflict.
That's a good point.
Do you tend to withdraw and avoid confrontation? Do you become more assertive and forceful? Or do you try to analyze the situation and find a logical solution?
It's good to know yourself.
Knowing your own tendencies is so important. It allows you to step back and choose a more constructive approach.
The SDI doesn't tell you what to do. It empowers you to make more informed choices in conflict.
This is so helpful.
Okay,
so we've explored how the SDI can enhance teamwork, leadership, and conflict resolution. But it's not just about navigating those external challenges, is it? It also has a powerful impact on individual growth and development,
Absolutely. The SDI provides a detailed portrait of your strengths, helping you identify those qualities that come naturally to you and that you use most effectively in your interactions with others. It's like having a personalized guidebook to your own unique talents and abilities.
It reminds me of that saying, focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses.
Exactly. The SDI encourages you to embrace your strengths and leverage them to achieve your goals.
This is so empowering. So how can we practically apply this insight? How can we start using our strengths more intentionally in our daily lives?
So the first step is awareness. Take a look at your strengths portrait. And really reflect on those top strengths. What energizes you? What comes naturally to you? How do you use those strengths to connect with others and achieve positive outcomes?
It's like recognizing those moments when we're in our element. When we're using our strengths, effortlessly and effectively.
Exactly. And once you have that awareness, you can start to look for opportunities to leverage those strengths more intentionally. So if one of your top strengths is analytical, maybe you volunteer for that project that requires problem solving and strategic thinking.
Or if persuasive is one of your strengths, you might take the lead on presenting a new idea to your team.
The key is to align your actions with your strengths.
This is making me think about all those times I felt frustrated or unfulfilled at work. And it's probably because I wasn't fully utilizing my strengths.
It's a common experience. The SDI helps you break free from those limiting beliefs and embrace your true potential.
This is so inspiring.
It is.
But even as we're celebrating our strengths, we need to remember those overdone strengths, right?
Yes, yes.
How can we make sure our strengths don't turn into weaknesses?
It's a great point. And remember that volume knob analogy?
Yes.
Even the best qualities can become a problem.
Right.
If they're turned up too loud.
Right. It's like when someone's overly helpful to the point where it's actually intrusive and stifling.
Exactly. The SDI provides insights into your overdone strengths. So you can be more mindful how you're using them.
So it's about self-awareness and balance. Yeah. Making sure our strengths are truly serving us and our relationships.
Precisely. And this applies to so many areas of life, both personal and professional.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation.
It has.
I'm starting to see how the SDI can truly transform the way we interact with others. We've explored its applications in teamwork, leadership, conflict resolution, and even personal growth.
It's incredible how versatile the SBI is.
It is, and there's still more to discover.
There is.
So join us for part 3.
Okay.
Where we'll delve into some even more specific use cases for the SDI, like how it can enhance coaching and performance management, be integrated into educational settings, and even help navigate those inevitable changes that pop up at work.
I'm excited to dive into those examples.